Okay, and welcome back. We are professionals. We know what we're doing. Are you still Josh?
Yeah.
Lewis?
I think it's the "are you still" bit that bothers me, Josh.
I can see why. It's a little odd.
It feels weird.
I'm still Matt.
Oh, I wish you weren't.
You see.
Yeah, but why would
Wow.
people be asking? Why would people be concerned? Like, it should just
Well,
be
I think
assumed.
why people watching is the true question you should be asking, Josh. Because I have no idea.
No, that's a
Specifically
good
because
question.
it's a podcast, so you
I mean,
only
yeah,
actually have to
that's
listen.
very much the case. Yeah, if they're watching the podcast, I don't think they really have quite grasped the concept of what a podcast is. But let's face it, as Lewis just told me before we started this, I can't win when it comes to the introductions anyway. So quite honestly, I don't really care.
That's good. You seem to have learned.
You see, I'm starting to become Lewis now. I'm starting to not care about stuff. Oh God, what's happening to me? I'm
You
converting.
embraced the true nature of the world.
I thought you were going to do a Darth Sidious slide for a sec then.
No,
Just
I'm more reasonable than Sidious.
Oh, of course you are.
Yeah.
Far more reasonable.
I mean, we can look at the show notes this week if we really want to talk about,
You wanted to go there that quickly.
Yeah, let's do it this quick. Let's just get it over with, right? Rip
God.
the plaster off.
Oh, God. Okay, so Lewis told me before we started that I am going to want to kill him when he outlines what exactly it is that he wants to say with regards to the previous episode, because apparently, even by his standards, he's gone too far with the pedantic nature that he possesses.
This is not only too far. This is the kind of thing that you should, in real life, like you're not creating a product, and like your personality is not based on this for this product. Do not do this. You will look like an ass.
I'm worried. I don't want to go too violent, Josh.
Okay, what?
I don't even know what he's going to do, but I'm
No.
just worried.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we were talking last week about the Super Bowl, and Matt said the Super Bowl
yeah.
is split into 4 quarters.
Oh my God, are you referencing the Super Bowl?
Now, I'd like to point out to people that
Oh my God,
by definition,
Josh,
a quarter is a fourth.
Oh my God.
So the 4 and 4 quarters is redundant.
I'm going to kill him.
You may proceed.
Josh,
That was it.
I swear to Almighty God, you had better hope that plane crashes into the Atlantic. Because if I get back to Britain, I swear to God, Lewis is going to just evaporate. Oh my God!
Why? But why did you? Why did you feel
Literally,
the need?
there is no point in highlighting this at all.
I did say that.
Oh my God!
It just didn't scan with me when I was listening back.
I'm
It
just-
felt weird to hear.
Jesus.
I can't.
Well,
I'm
hang
not
on, so hang on,
processing
I still don't understand it though. What do you mean?
Well, if I say it's split into quarters, by definition that means it's split into 4. By specifying that it's split into 4 quarters is kind of like saying that I split
Four
it
fourths.
into 2 halves, right? It's like, well, yeah, it's a half. Yeah, it's a quarter. It's by definition this thing. Like, something can't be split into 5 quarters or 3 quarters. Because those would be
Right.
thirds and fifths.
But when you're playing, you play through the first quarter, and then the second quarter, and then the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter.
Yeah, no, you can specify there because now you're looking at like a continuous line and your position on that line relative to time. But
Right.
abstractly, 4 quarters is dumb. I told you this. You shouldn't call people out on this. By the way, like I'm doing this because it's mildly amusing, and it kind of fits my persona.
You're doing it for the laws.
Yeah, kinda.
Thing is, some people might honestly be listening to this going, he's just doing this for the podcast. No, guys, he literally does this all the freaking time.
I don't do it in earnest though. It's never like, you should actually change that. It's a big deal.
But that
is a
almost
big
makes
deal.
it worse, because then he's only doing it because he knows it will rile us up.
It's not just because it will rile you up, but maybe you would like to know.
Oh, God. I
There
mean,
is
to be
some
fair,
element
though,
of like,
to
hey,
be
maybe you
fair,
should
though,
look at this.
To be fair, though, I do agree with the idea of I don't know why the hell... Like, I can understand having 2 halves, because you can have a half time, and then you can change stuff with regards to your sports team, whatever sport you're playing. I do not understand why you need to split up each half again. Like, basketball and American football both do this, and I literally have no... Aside from an extra timeout so you can plug more advertisements,
I was just
what
going to
is the
say,
point?
yeah.
What is the point in having 4 quarters instead of 2 halves?
The funny thing is they play for less time than people play like real football for as well.
Well, actually, you talk about that. Well, okay, I won't get too in depth in this, but basically, yeah, football is played for about 90 minutes. But strictly speaking, the actual time the ball is in play is usually roughly about 60, which is why people have been calling to have the rules implemented so that basically you have a clock stoppage every time the ball goes dead, because then you could just have a 60-minute clock, and then you'd have the same amount of ball time, but you wouldn't have to worry about all this like rubbish with extra time and everything, and having the game go on for basically a subjective amount of time, however the ref wants to call it. But with American football, at least with actual football, because I'm not going to say the S word.
Well, soccer.
You can
do the other way around here. You can call American football hand egg.
Hand egg.
Okay, I like that.
It's pretty good.
Okay, we're doing that right. So with football, it literally takes actually probably about 2 hours to watch the whole game, incorporating in halftime.
I don't do that.
If it's 90 minutes plus about half an hour each way before and after the game. It's probably about a 2-hour whole thing. With the Super Bowl, it's 60 minutes long because it's 4 quarters of 15 minutes. But the whole thing takes like 4 hours.
I already find tennis too much, and tennis is like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Well,
maybe 3, depending on...
Yeah, I was going to say, you can have long matches. I remember some of the Rafa Federer Wimbledon finals went on forever. I think it was.
Do you mean Raphael, as we found out last week?
Oh my god! I mean, was it the? I want to say it's the '08 final they had at Wimbledon, where it was just going on for like 5 hours or something stupid, and it went to the 5th set and went to tie break, and it just went on forever. I do remember that one.
I think Murray had a game in like 2011 or so, which was just like. I think they finished at like 11:30. They normally have to finish at 11, but they went and said,
"Yeah,
we can either finish this up now because there's one game left, and that game took 30 minutes, or we can come back tomorrow." And they were like, "Just finish up the game." Just like,
my dad's
already causing a problem.
My dad's quite a big tennis fan, and he told me that the longest game he can think of was quite a few years ago at Wimbledon, and I think Gael Monfils was in the game. I'm not sure versus someone else, and it went on for like 3 days.
Okay,
well, the match was over 3 days.
I want to just point out they call this the longest match ever. They basically played for like an hour and a half, but it kept raining. That was it. That was genuinely it. It just kept raining.
They weren't playing throughout. It wasn't like they were playing the whole of 3 days. They like played part of the first day, some of the second day, and then finished up on the third day. But even so, it was ridiculous. Like if you actually look at the play time for the match, it was ridiculously long.
Well, it's because they kept getting rests.
That might have been it too. Yeah.
Like if you think about it, like when Murray plays, he plays 5 sets in a row. But if you get to play one match over 3 days. You get 2 sleeps.
I think the 5th set went to like 30 games each, roughly, before one of them was able to win it. And then the ridiculous thing was, obviously, because they'd been playing this match for so long and exhausted both of them out so much. I can't even remember who won the game, but whoever won it, the next game they played in the tournament, they just lost in straight sets because they just couldn't barely walk, let alone play a game of professional tennis.
Yeah.
Right, so I found it.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah, it was 183 games.
What?
Jesus Christ.
That's insane.
So apparently I was wrong about this. It took 11 hours and 5 minutes over the 3 days.
Oh
there you go.
God.
And it went 6-4, 3-6, 6-7, but it went like 7-9 tiebreak there. And then it went 7-6. And then it was 7-68.
Whoa.
Can you imagine when it gets to like 30 or 40 games each, you're just sitting there going, Come on, if you just win this, please. Like, I can't even be asked to watch this any further.
They both must have been very determined.
It was the quarterfinals of Wimbledon.
Was it the quarterfinals?
Yeah.
It wasn't
I thought it was an earlier game.
Oh.
Who was it between?
It was between Eisner and Mahut.
Oh, it was.
Did either of the two
Eisner and Mahut
in that game win Wimbledon?
So Eisner won that match.
Yeah,
and we'll take a quick look.
Yeah.
What happened in the 2010 Wimbledon Championship? The men's singles.
Eisner didn't win it. Eisner lost in the semis in like straight sets because he was just so exhausted that he couldn't barely
sucks
walk.
So much.
Like, that was the whole ridiculous thing. It was like he plays this game for 11 hours over 3 days, and the whole tournament has to get set back because of it, because they can't move on to the semis because this game's still going on. And then eventually Eisner wins it, and then rocks up to the semis like a day or so later, and then he's just dead.
That's stupid.
But then of course he would be. He's played 11 hours of tennis over the last 3 days, then rocks up at another game, and he's supposed to be fresh. Well, he's facing a fresh-faced opponent.
Yeah.
I don't even know who it was, but it would have been someone good because it's the semis, and then just immediately loses. So like every spectator's just like, well, what's the point?
Yeah. Dang.
I'm trying to like figure this out because the page is not being like overly helpful. So I'm looking at this.
I would just look up the tournament, how the tournament standings went.
You know, I am. It says so. It says that in the final, it was Nadal versus Bergic. I can't say that properly.
Bergic?
Yeah, Bergic, I think. And then it was between Djokovic and him, and Murray and Nadal in the semis. And then you look in...
Okay, so it was Murray Nadal in the one semi, and then it was.
But then you
Djokovic
look in the quarterfinals. You may have noticed that Eisner isn't in there. But it says
it's Isner.
Yeah, Isner. Sorry, but it's really weird because it's a first round match. Oh no.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Sorry, it wasn't a quarterfinal match. I've read the queue on it, but no, I'm being dull. I think that's just qualifying, maybe.
Yeah,
that looks like the seeding.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. I was going to say I thought it was an early round match.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It just seems to be an early round match.
Yeah.
Well, I'd hate to do that.
Look at who Isner played next after we won that game.
Oh God, I've lost the page.
I
hate Wikipedia is the worst at finding this out.
I'll try and get it up as well. But like, I'm fairly certain if you get up the game that he played afterwards, he just immediately loses it because you can almost imagine he's just looking at his opponent, and his opponent's like, "Do I even have to play this game?"
It was 3 straight sets. It was 6-0, 6-3, 6-2.
There you go. He won 5 games out of 3 sets.
Yep.
Who was he playing?
Matthew. No, he wasn't actually. Sorry, it was a backer.
Oh damn! Yeah, I was going to say, how do I remember the match? Because I was playing it.
God, I hate looking up tennis scores. It's so awkward.
It is very awkward. They don't make it easy.
Speaking of scoring,
system?
Why is that the scoring system?
Yeah, why do they go like 15, 30, then 40?
I used to know the reasoning for this.
Yeah, I don't know why. And they call 0 love instead of just saying 0. They could literally just do it, or it's like 1, 2, 3, and then if you win the 4th point, then you win the game.
It makes so much more sense.
And then if you win that many, you win the set and everything. Yeah, I don't know why it's 15, 30, 40 love. Yeah, I don't know why. From the sounds of typing, though, I would assume that Lewis is probably looking it up.
Marine's obscure.
Oh, really?
We'll never know.
You just never know.
We will never know.
This was like a 16th century thing. It just happened.
Okay.
A bit like cricket, where it's like half the rules of cricket. It's like, I don't know. It's like the
someone came
I can't
up
remember
with
the
the
name.
monks.
Well, it's like the name of the. I can't remember the name of the rule, but there's a famous like equation name in cricket that they use for if they're playing test matches, and they basically run out of days to play the match, and there's still one team that needs to bat. They'll basically use this equation to basically estimate what the score would be.
What?
and then declare the
Makes
winner
sense.
based on that.
Makes
What?
sense.
Okay.
But I can't remember what it's called, but it's hilarious
Sure.
because it's like ridiculously complicated.
I bet it's got 3 components.
Hang on. I'll just try and look it up because I
So
can't
while
remember
Matt's
the name
looking
of
that
it.
up, Josh, can you remember my high score in Nova Drift? Because you said you would remember.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Actually, it's okay. So it's called the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method.
When did I
Oh,
say
yeah,
I'd
I remember writing this. Last week on the podcast, I told you I had a high score in Nova Drift. And, you know, you said, I
Right.
don't, because we came across the point, which is that neither of you remember what Nova Drift is.
Yeah.
And to
Well, I
counter
do
this,
now.
you said you would remember the score.
Does it have a 2 in it?
Is this your final answer? You have to guess.
I have to guess with a final answer.
You did see me play Nova Drift like just before the recording, so you know
Yeah.
roughly where the high score is.
Well, no, wait. Your current high score?
No, the one that I said last week. My current high score has increased.
Ooh,
It's now
yeah,
about
yeah.
600,000.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 263,000.
Yeah, that's surprisingly close.
Is it?
No, not at all. It's 463,000.
Okay. Well,
Which I actually believe
week ago.
was wrong. Like the number is like that is the number I said last week, I believe. But that number I think is actually wrong. I think it's about 420,000. And I just said the
Okay.
wrong one.
that's way too long a period of time for me to try
8
and
days.
remember something very just
It's been
arbitrary.
8 days and an edit.
Okay, I don't go through the entire episode in
Sounds
in
to
the
me
edit.
like someone isn't pulling their fair share. And his name is Matt.
Oh, here we go. It's been a while. Right, go on. Roast Matt time. Have your share.
Yeah, you owe me some money. Don't worry about it.
Wow. Okay.
You owe me a lot of money.
Lewis is now turning into a mob boss, everyone.
He's the loan shark.
This is your
Is
last
that money
warning.
coming back to him, Matt?
What, are you going to send goons round to my house and have a word?
I'll send one goon. You're not worth an extra.
It's just going to be Josh in like a long overcoat.
Yeah.
He's going
Sure.
to fly all the way to Canada just to be like, hey, Matt, would you step outside kindly?
Yeah.
We're gonna go for a ride.
We're gonna have a nice little talk.
Oh, by the way, I've just looked it up with the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method. Basically, what they do is they combine together. So team two. So you have the batting team and the bowling team, right? So if so obviously one team has not fully been able to bat out their innings. If you're having to use this method, because there's been a delay and you have to work out the math to decide who won. So basically, team one is the batting team, team two is the bowling team, and then you each team has what are called resources. It seems to be a bit complicated, but I think basically
You think it's worth listing out the entire description of this
yeah, actually
very
no, I'm not gonna-
complex
It's
outright
it's-
equation on a podcast by someone who doesn't really know very much to team
I don't-
who
yeah, I
don't
don't
really
know.
know very much about cricket.
Okay, basically, Team 2's par score equals Team 1's score times Team 2's resources over Team 1's resources. That's basically the equation. If you want to read into what resources and par score is, then you can look up the wiki page, which I've just been doing and trying to fathom my head around. But I
mean to the Shownotes.
can't be bothered. Basically, yeah. But that's basically the equation. And that's what they have to use in order to judge who wins if there's a delay. Because otherwise, they'd just be like,
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Matt. So
You're
now that
welcome.
Matt, now that
You're
Matt's
welcome.
talked about something that we don't know about, I'm going to talk about something that they don't know about.
oh god, is this Skyrim?
Let's talk about Skyrim.
Oh, here we go. We were told that Lewis apparently wants to talk about Skyrim for some reason, which is to be fair, it's been a while since we discussed Skyrim. So Lewis, would you care to enlighten us with what exactly it is that you have to say on Skyrim?
There's a Skyrim multiplayer mod.
What is that?
Yeah, but it's been around for a while, but it's in development hell. I think it's really hard to get work properly.
To be fair, that doesn't really surprise me, given that Skyrim is one of the most modded games to hell.
It is
there's so many mods.
very buggy.
In the way that
It's very fun. I'm gonna break it in half.
In the way that you explained how the multiplayer works, I can understand why it's really, really temperamental. And doesn't.
Okay, so I don't know how
And
it
has
works.
a lot
Do
of
you want to tell me
problems.
quickly?
So there's three components. Let's imagine two people want to play Skyrim together,
Okay,
and
sure.
we'll call them me and Joanna. Right?
Does Joanna actually want to play Skyrim?
Yeah, we've been playing it.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
So there's three components here. There's me, Joanna, and the server. The server hosts the world and takes in all the information so that it can be sent to other players, but it doesn't store anything directly. Like
Really?
when the server's off, it doesn't have like a world or quest data or anything. All the quest data is stored on a single save. So for me, it's stored on my save. For Joanna, it's stored on their save. Which means
I can see how this is going to get broken really quickly.
Which means that if an NPC is dead for me, it's not dead for them, which is good because it means they can still complete quests that way.
Right.
Unfortunately, the game does not handle this well. So there's an NPC called Farkas, and me and Joanna were going to do the Companions quest line. And I was off talking to the Jarl, doing like the main like quest, and they were doing the Farkas quest. I came outside after I'd finished that, and I was like, I'll do that now. Farkas, not where like Joanna is, even though Joanna's fighting him. So I have to then go and search for Farkas. But he keeps teleporting around the place because it keeps spawning it for Joanna. It's a nightmare dealing with NPCs.
That's really annoying.
So it's trying to sync them, but it doesn't do it consistently enough, which means that you just have to not do that.
Okay.
You have to. So the solution we came up with is we're going to play Skyrim together alone, which kind of works and kind of doesn't. So Joanna wants to play. Joanna wants to play a mage, which is fine. It's a play style. I recommend the play style late game. We'll get into that in a minute.
I feel like we've just begun and just scraped the surface of everything that Lewis wants to say.
So I did the companions because I play like a melee dude. I like playing a melee dude with heavy armor and a shield.
That should be the name of the class. Sage, Wizard, Melee Dude.
Well, Sage and Wizard are very close, and you've ignored Thief. But that doesn't matter.
I can't remember. I don't even know how many years it's been since I even tried to play Skyrim.
Well, Skyrim doesn't even have classes, so...
Okay, fair enough.
So, what I do is I go and do the Companions quest, and they go and do the College of Winterhold quest, which means we're in different places, and the NPCs are very consistent, very predictable. We're essentially running our own instances of Skyrim, and just occasionally sending our information to the server. It's incredibly stable when you do it like that.
Oh wait, a quest. When you complete a quest, is that completed for the other player as well?
No, it's just for you.
Okay. So it is like really separate still.
People have been saying that if quest syncing becomes a consistent working element of the game, it will completely like change it. Yeah. Like it will be like this big overhaul for how you actually play Skyrim together.
Okay.
Because you can then actually start doing quests together.
Yeah.
The problem is, I actually think it would in some ways make the game worse. Because if I want to do the Companions quest and they want to do the College of Winterhold quest, and I do those and they do theirs, I now can't complete the other side of that, and they can't complete my side. So you then always have to play it like directly next to each other, but the syncing's not great, and the dungeons aren't really built to have two people walking through them.
No.
The way you look at it is sort of like, you can fit about one person inside a Draugr ruin as you walk through it. So you would expect you would put your tanky melee guy at the front.
Yeah.
But if you got a mage behind you, it's not built for someone to do that. So you shoot your friend in the back, and because you do a huge amount of damage, your friend dies almost immediately.
Okay.
Fantastic. That
Which
sounds
means
very helpful.
Walking around with a mage is essentially a death sentence if you're not really careful.
Hey, you fancy dying?
Like, I
Play with
basically
a
get
mage.
melted. And we turned the difficulty up to master because we're playing together, and then we didn't turn it back down when we started playing alone. So now the enemies are really hard for us.
Well,
and honestly, I don't really want to turn it back down. I've done like most of the game. I've done the hard bit of the game on master, so I might as well do the easy bit on master too. So let's talk about how you can snap Skyrim in half, regardless if you're playing Skyrim together or normal Skyrim.
You can just do it on normal Skyrim, can you?
I've done it on normal Skyrim many a time. It's the recommended path. Alright, Matt. Imagine a spell. An abstract spell.
Sure.
It costs 100 mana to cast.
Fine.
Well, that's a lot of mana, some would say.
I have no idea, but I'll take your word for it.
Let's say it's a lot of mana.
Sure, let's say that it is.
So you might think, well, let's get some equipment that reduce the cost of these spells, because that's a good thing to do.
It makes logical sense.
So you make 4 pieces of armor for yourself, which have a 25% reduction in the cost of the spells.
Well, that would reduce it from 100 to 0.
Yes. Yes, it
Wait.
would.
Wait, hang on.
And let's say you can only do this at level 100 enchanting, but there's a perk at level 100 enchanting that lets you apply 2 enchantments to a single item, which now lets you
Hang on a
reduce
minute.
the cost of 2 schools of magic to 0.
What?
And now let's hypothetically say that when all your spells cost 0 and you can stagger any opponent with magic,
So
and
this
it's
isn't
really
mods.
cheap to do, this is base
This
Skyrim.
is base game.
This is an intended interaction,
What?
which means the optimal way to do magic is to punch people. Because the fastest way I've found to level up enchanting without just mass crafting is to soul trap people with a soul trap weapon and feed that soul straight back into the weapon, because that levels up enchanting, which means as we previously stated, a punchy dude who wears heavy armor and a shield, is now a better mage than Joanna, the Archmage of the College of Winterhold, because all of my spells cost 0.
Because you basically broke the game by nerfing yourself all to hell with regards to having to buff up your spells.
I'm going to pretend I understood what you just said there.
Well, I mean, you nerf. Okay, nerfed is probably not the best word.
Yeah, nerf is the one that put me off.
Yeah, nerfed is probably not the right word to use. But basically, you dumbed down your costs for all your spells
Yep.
to the point where.
And you can put this enchantment on heavy armor, which means I'm still wearing heavy armor.
Wait, hang on! I thought you're not supposed to be able to wear heavy armor and do a whole load of spells and stuff.
No, you can. So in Skyrim, you can cast spells regardless of what you're wearing, but generally, items you find won't have those enchants and they won't be great. So the really good robes that you find naturally are robes. They don't count as armor particularly. You have to use like magic to increase your armor.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll find like a destruction spells cost 17% less. But
okay.
It's unlikely, and you then have to wear that armor, and if it's not as good, it's not as good. But if you make your own with the maximum, and then you double it up, so you can now reduce the cost of 2 down to 0, I'm wearing really good armor while being the best mage.
So basically, because you've been able to dumb down the magic costs for your character to 0, you are now able to cast as many spells as you want while still being a punchy, fighty dude that has ridiculously heavy armor on and can now beat out spellcasts being made by wizards that are supposed to be the best spellcasters in the game.
The ones who have been doing the entire playthrough doing magic are now worse than me. And you might think, well, Skyrim
That doesn't seem mildly broken.
Skyrim's a game where you level up based on how much you use things, so you haven't been using any magic, so you would be a low level anyway, so you wouldn't have access to high level spells, and your spells wouldn't do a lot of damage because you haven't been leveling them up. So now let's talk about what happens if you have 0 mana costs and can cast any spell for free. Because I think you'll find that all of those levels go up very fast.
Oh, God.
So illusion magic, you can spam the muffle spell, and if it costs 0, you can do this constantly. You will level up to level 100 illusion in about 25 minutes. Alteration, probably about 30 minutes to 100 by using telekinesis. Restoration, probably 25 minutes if you get lucky and find a bunch of low-level undead. What else do we have here? Destruction, just shoot people. Conjuration is the one that takes the longest, spamming out, summons, but even then, maybe only an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, this is a little broken.
So now you can hit max level in all of the magic types from the lowest level.
Ugh. So why is this?
That is the right
surprised.
sound to be making right now, Josh. Ugh.
I'm so surprised it's this base game. How did none of the developers realise when they made it?
I think the thing is, getting enchanting to level 100 does take time.
Okay.
You have to either solidly go for it or passively do it over the entire playthrough.
But even then, even though it takes you to get to 100 enchanting a long time, even if it takes you a long time, even when you get there, it still shouldn't be that you should then be able to basically mute any cost for magic because you can just, buff up your armors so they can get 25% reduction on each one for your mana and then have 4 of them and then double it so you can do it for 2 spells. Like, come on.
Now,
especially because then not only does it make you really good at spells, but it then makes you unfairly good at spells compared to the people that are supposed to actually be really good at spells.
Now, I understand your concern here, Matt. It's a justifiable concern.
It's not that I'm really
that's
caring
it. No,
that much.
that's actually it. No, it's just it shouldn't really exist.
I'm not really invested or anything. I'm just shocked that the developers didn't think of this.
But it kind of gets worse the more you think about it. So in the Dragonborn DLC, you were able to reset skills, so you could reset them to 0 while maintaining your level, and level them up again so that you can gain more player levels, which means more skill points.
I feel like they need to bring people like Lewis in. Game developers need to bring people like Lewis in for their games. Because how some people bring in expert hackers to be able to test out their own securities to make them stronger. I feel like people need to bring in people like Lewis to test out their games to see how broken they are, and see how many walls they can break down to break the game, and see how quickly they can do it.
You do tend to try and abuse whatever current system is in the game. If you
they
can.
just need to bring people like Lewis in and just be see how broken you can make our game in about an hour.
See how far
challenge
you can go.
accepted.
Okay, I'm getting offended.
You should take it as a compliment.
It's like there's
You're great at exploiting the game's mechanics.
It makes the games better though. It's I can't remember his name, but there's a famous guy in hockey back in I think the 70s.
Is this the guy who would do everything in his power? So he would put the stick in front of the thing because that wasn't against the rules, and you can only have 3 people off the ice at once. So at that point, you can foul anyone for free.
Yeah, he literally read the rule book more than the refs did, and so he basically found loophole after loophole in the rules. And although he was seen as basically an arsehole at the time because of the fact that he was being so pedantic in breaking every rule and not playing fair, you could say. What he did do was obviously make the rule book better because after every single time he broke one of the loopholes, they had to amend it.
That's really good.
But at the time, he was like, "Listen, I'm just trying to show and point out to the authorities of the NHL
he was only trying to help.
that they haven't done the rule book correctly."
Yeah.
So as Lewis said, he would do stuff he would be able to get to a point. He would find a loophole where he could intentionally foul people and get away with it, or do substitutions he shouldn't have been able to, or stuff like this. Where it's just can you imagine playing against him? You just be watching him doing this kind of stuff. Really?
You're just getting so fed up.
This is the intended reaction, by the way. So let's let's move away from this intended, because you can do this in all the skills, but you can enchant like your equipment so it does all of them can level up really fast.
Yeah.
And you can gain infinite skill points, so you can hit like a point where you can't spend any more skill points. You're as powerful as you can be. Let's look at a different exploit that is not intended and hasn't been patched.
Okay.
They call it the restoration glitch.
Oh god.
So,
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you the prerequisites for this. It's not very much. It's like 5 grand soul gems and like fortified alchemy.
So
Relatively
this
easy.
So this isn't something that the developers intended. This is a glitch.
If this is what they intended, we got some problems with Bethesda.
Right. Okay. So
Well,
what we're saying is
Bethesda.
this is a glitch. This wasn't a design. This was a mistake.
Here's how you do the glitch, or the exploit. Enchant a set of gear with fortified alchemy, and then put on your fortified alchemy gear and create a fortified restoration potion using salt piles, longfin, and spade tails. Then drink that potion, unequip and re-equip your alchemy gear, and then keep repeating it until you're like out of materials or just like bored. Then create a fortified enchanting potion. Then drink that, and then while under the effect of fortified alchemy potion, enchant an item with fortified alchemy. Sorry, let's repeat that because I think I messed that ending up. While under the effect of fortified enchanting, enchant with fortified alchemy, and then use the items created in the last step. You'll be able to mix ridiculous potions without having to repeat the loop every time, and then use it to create a more powerful fortified enchanting potion, and then you can enchant something with plus 60,000 health, or plus like 85,000 times like unarmed damage, or anything of the sort. The numbers go so high that you end up with near infinite stamina, magicka, and health while being nearly invulnerable.
Christ.
You will level up smithing to level 100 by crafting a single dagger because your smithing skill will be so high.
Oh no.
Jesus Christ, that is broken.
That is.
So I don't do that one because that one's like super bad.
That can't be intended.
As you say,
There's no way.
If that was intended
Yeah.
by Bethesda, we have some issues.
It
Major
is
issues.
Serious issues.
terrifying.
Yeah, that seems a little.
So I'm not
broken.
doing that one.
How
No.
quickly in the game can you do that? Like, how many hours in? would
You need
say?
level 50 in alchemy or level 50 in enchanting. So realistically, about 10 hours. But I think with like
That's
optimal.
it?
Well, you actually only need 3 perks in alchemy. So if you really push the alchemy skill, you
Like,
might
yeah,
be
if-
able
if
to
you-
do it in like.
If I got
2
the
or
game
3
and went
hours.
straight into the game and wanted to straight do that, how quickly could I do it?
Let's think about what the ultimate route would be. So what you would probably want to do is go to the Thief Stone after getting into like the real world. You then want to find a bunch of, I think it's blue flowers and butterfly wings. You get a bunch of them and mix those potions. Every time you can upgrade your alchemy skill, do that so the potions are more valuable. I can see you hitting 50 in a couple hours.
Wow.
And then
So-
from there, all you need to do is
Jeez.
repeat this. You'll hit level 100 in them easily, and then you're fine.
So within 2 hours, I could potentially gain the glitch that enables me to basically become unbeatable and unkillable.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's not super hard.
Wow. That's mildly broken.
Oh, there's another one that I know that's not anywhere near as broken, but there's an invisible chest in Dawnstar which has a merchant's like inventory in it. It's meant to be under because all merchant inventory is under the ground, like hidden away, so you can't access it. But it spawns in these chests. But this one is just
they're
not
actually,
far
like,
enough underground.
They're like actually things, objects in the game.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're in like chests. That's what they're tied to. But this one isn't
Okay.
far enough down, so you can open it from the surface.
Uh-oh.
And you
So
can
you
just
just
loot the
take
stuff in there, wait like
that's-
10 days, and do it again.
Wow.
I don't do that one
this,
either.
This seems broken.
Yeah, I don't do that one either. I only do the ones that are intended mechanics, like the enchanting one. Because like
Sure.
either that would have been patched out, or that's intended. Because you don't have to do an exploit to get it.
Yeah, you would have thought so.
Yeah. Who knows, though?
Who knows?
Well, I've been enjoying Skyrim.
Yeah.
I'm
How
going to
long
snap
has it
it in
been since-
half.
How long has it been since you played it last?
Probably like 2 years, 3 years.
Really?
I really like Skyrim, guys.
What's your
Like,
hours?
I really like Skyrim.
What would you say is
Oh.
roughly probably your hours played, Lewis?
I'm
I'm
Because
only
you
gonna
told
tell you
us
my-
this before.
I can only verify my PC hours, and those are the only ones we're going to count. But I did have a save file that had 660 hours on it on PS3. There may have been another one there too. Can't verify, and I can't really remember.
Oh my god!
But let's just pretend there isn't.
Because
look at-
otherwise it looks really bad.
I got 97 hours in normal Skyrim, which was like a bunch of modded playthroughs with like hardcore elements, and then I've got 176 in Special Edition.
Wow.
Oh wait, didn't you have 1,000?
I was going to say. I thought you said you had over 1,000.
I have about 1,000 if you add up all those save files on PS3. We can't verify those
Oh, okay.
because I don't have them anymore.
Right.
Yes.
So
But-
I don't
but,
think we'll
overall,
about those for evidence.
That's not as bad as I was thinking.
I was going to say that doesn't sound
Actually.
as bad.
It's still quite bad.
It's still a lot.
I've played a lot of Skyrim.
To be honest,
lot
I'm
of
sure I
stuff.
have like
Well, actually, I've
over
got another
1,000
game that we
hours in
could ask you about.
Minecraft.
Lewis, instead of Skyrim, do you want to tell us what your hours is on Warframe?
Nah, I'm good. I'm afraid of the number.
Are you?
Yeah.
How high
I
is
know
it?
that he has put hella hours.
855?
Oh. Oh, that's a long time.
And how
Can't
long
prove
have
it.
you had it?
I've played up for 2 years.
So in just 2 years, you've racked
Yeah.
up over 850
I spent
hours.
pretty much the entire summer, 2 years ago, playing it
Wow.
Jesus
with
Christ.
Joanna. We just went solidly through.
That is a long time.
Too long, one could say.
Listen,
Quite
Matt, you play
possibly.
FIFA. You play the same game every year. Add up all your FIFA times, then we'll talk. Alright?
I generally, to be fair, I generally do play either sports games or warfare games. That's usually me.
Yeah, at least I have the good sense to play Skyrim, the greatest game of our generation. Would someone like to buy Skyrim? Because we've released it enough times.
I still don't own it on PC. You think
If
I'm-
anyone is
I'm bored by now?
curious, Skyrim was originally released in 2011, then 2013, then 2016, then 2016, and I think that's it.
Okay, so I've just looked up my
Sorry,
FIFA,
and 2018.
so my FIFA 17 hours on Origin add up to 548.
It's not even that bad then that I'm playing Warframe. At least there's more diversity than kick a ball.
It's true.
And that includes update time. Although I don't think there was 300 hours of update time. Close
No.
though, because the Warframe launcher is terrible. Would anyone like to hear my 6-hour piece on Warframe?
Oh,
Somebody?
I'm sure
No,
we've said it
no,
before.
I'm
this
good.
is for
I'm
another
good.
This
There's
is
several
another day.
things that we can't
Oh,
talk
okay.
about because they would take too long. One of them is Warframe. The other is the Spider-Man costumes, which we can't raise as a topic for fear of basically starting a huge rant between
It
the three of
takes
us.
so long.
The Spider-Man costumes we could actually do though.
Yeah, but we can't.
For
we
another day,
could.
perhaps.
Ugh.
For another day, perhaps, in 3 years' time. Because, as Lewis has pointed out, so for anyone that doesn't realise, basically, the latest PS4 Spider-Man game, how many suits does it have in that game?
You're getting dangerously close to this topic.
Hey,
Why-
Matt,
oh, no,
continue
I'm
talking.
just-
Don't listen to this.
I don't know how many suits there are, but there's a fair few. And basically, a while ago, I think it might have been Lewis, basically just stated that...
38.
Okay, it's 30. Wow, I didn't think there was that many.
That's not including the Spider-Man DLC ones.
Oh, wow, okay. I don't even think I've seen the DLC ones, maybe. I don't know.
I think
Anyway.
it's just the Tobey Maguire seat.
Oh, okay, I've got that one. So
Yeah, it's 42 if you include.
okay, so 42, right. So basically, Lewis, I think, I can't remember when, but basically, when the game came out, basically stated that there was one suit, I can't even remember which one it was, that is...
Black Cat suit.
Oh, yeah, so that was it. Yeah, Black Cat suit is comprehensively the best suit in the game. Then
Well,
Josh...
He's wrong.
My
started-
opinion has changed, but Josh's opinion is equally bad.
Josh, I can't. Which one was? I can't remember which one was Josh's. But again,
You want to start it?
We're
No,
getting
I don't.
dangerously close. We're getting dangerously close because it became way too impassioned of a debate for simply which Spider-Man suit it was.
Well,
Let's
I
talk
can-
about D&D instead, because we're not doing this now.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of
it's
the
so
conversation.
good, though.
All I will say is that I am glad the 2032 suit is actually in the game. And I think I'm almost as glad as Lewis was when he was included in the animated Spider-Man movie.
2099.
Sorry, 2099 even. I forget the date. I just remember when we were in the cinema watching the animated
I was very
Spider-Man
excited.
movie. And all I remember is sat next to Lewis when the film was ending. And he was like, can't believe they didn't put... what's his name? Who's the
Oh, yeah.
2099 guy? I can't remember his
Miguel.
name. Miguel, that's it. Yeah, I was like, I can't believe they didn't put Miguel in the film. And literally, as soon as he said that, it cut to a post-credit scene with Miguel in it. And he was like, they actually did it.
Yeah. I mean, that suit looked good in the film. Not so
It
much in
That's
the
good
game.
anyway, Josh. You're just
No,
wrong.
Not so much in the game.
Lewis can't contain himself.
It's such a cool suit. And let's talk D&D, because I got D&D follow-up, and then we'll do Lasso follow-up. And then if we have time, we still won't do it, because we're not doing it.
You basically just look like a boring old future soldier.
You're about to get smacked down. That's not even the suit we're talking about.
The 2099 one.
Yeah.
Is this not the same?
And
I am. Is it this one? Yeah, it is this one. This is the one.
He's
that's
just sent us a
2099
photo.
white.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not the one we're talking about.
And also
That's
that
like-
one is cooler, I'll be honest. I really like this one. Anyway,
Yeah,
let's talk about D&D.
That's why.
Not doing this. I'm not doing this.
Lewis is so
I'd say-
adamant.
Honestly, I would say that the blue one is better.
Wait, listen. Let's talk D&D, because we had Pokemon this week.
Josh, stop. I
really
can see this
doesn't like
going
the-
badly.
He really doesn't like the Iron Spider, though. I don't know why.
Oh my
He
god,
just keeps going.
he really does.
We had
We'll
Pokemon
talk
this
about
week.
Anyway, you had Pokemon, did you?
Yeah.
How did it go?
I
Honestly,
know it looks metallic, but like
it was
doesn't
fun.
look-
You're about to go.
Lewis, I think Josh is becoming better at being the procrastinating, pedantic one than you are.
He's not being pedantic. He's just being frustrating.
You're right. He's just being frustrated is probably the best word. Yeah.
Fine, talk about your D&D. Also,
So we did Pokemon.
So how many?
Pokemon.
So how many gyms did you get through?
That's not what it was.
Oh, okay.
So Pokemon is not the right term for it. It was to be the very best one shot by the Adventurers League. So we used these capsules to catch creatures in the world in like a select zone. You could have one.
sounds awfully like Pokemon.
And then you would use that captured creature, this capsule monster. I think we could shorten that,
right.
to fight other capsule creatures. And like, the first thing I caught was a Spectre. I was pretty happy with it, but everyone else was like, "We should probably get an Ooze." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." So I caught an Ooze. I caught the worst Capsulemon in the game, and I lost every fight I was in.
wow.
It was
That sounds like it
event.
went well.
It didn't, but it's fine because not Team Rocket appeared after the tournament. And yes, my DM did do the speech.
The
whole
That's
thing?
good.
Yeah, he did the whole,
Really?
prepare for travel on the double.
Oh
That's
my
great.
god! Oh my god!
He wasn't getting into it because it's really hard to get into it. But
he sounded committed though.
he was very... Oh, it was dumb. There was a Meowth that didn't do anything in combat, but just shouted stuff at you. it didn't even get to do it once because Jonathan immediately killed it.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Pull me out.
He
No.
shattered it, and it just it went down.
You shattered it.
There's a spell called shatter. It creates a really loud sound, and then you fall unconscious. Or you just die in some cases.
Jesus Christ, that's brutal.
Tim runs in.
that sounds violent.
He just says a word of radiance. You have to make a con save, else you take 2d6 in damage.
Right.
And then Jacob, just to be nice, cast some horrific hentai creature on me. So now I was stuck
Jesus.
in magical darkness, sort of encased in tentacles and taking damage every turn.
Right.
God.
Okay. This sounds
And then
awful.
Jonathan shattered me.
Why?
Wait, yeah, why?
Were you meant to
I was
be
surrounded by
fighting
thugs.
against- Oh. Okay,
No.
so you are still a team in this
Yeah,
situation.
I'm still a team in this. They just really wanted those thugs dead. And Tim, he was collateral.
Nice.
God.
But
You really don't
Wardlair
care
went
about
down.
Tim.
And who's the only one who can get Wardlair up? Because Nethin's left the team, so I'm the only healer other than Wardlair?
Oh, here
That's
we go.
right, the man who's just been shattered,
Some really good
And-
planning here.
hit by monsters.
Pretty good teamwork.
So I get out,
Yeah,
I
this
get
seems to be going
Wardlair
well.
up. Who doesn't like getting Wardlair up?
Someone that doesn't like Wardlow.
Everyone likes Wardlair. He has a T-Rex now. No, he has a Triceratops now. Which is weird.
Wait, what?
Well, not at that time. So we cleared out
Okay.
Team Rocket.
I was going to say, since when did you build or when did you buy a freaking dinosaur?
It didn't take too long. Team Rocket, very easy to take down. We set
Cat
our
and all?
capsule.
I can't remember what the cat's called, but
What cat?
the Team Rocket. It has a cat thing.
Yeah, they
Is
have
that-
Meowth. It wasn't called
Meowth,
Meowth,
that's
though,
it,
because
yeah.
that's against rules.
Is it?
Oh right, okay.
okay.
Sure.
Well, legal things.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
of course.
Sure.
But it died. We released our capsule mons, got some rewards from the Emerald Enclave and the Harpers, made some
Sure.
cash, and then we went into downtime activities.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we weren't adventuring together for 90 days.
And
how did that go?
what happened in these 90 days?
They got a bit real for some people,
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
and for others, really good. So
What do you mean by real?
Yeah.
Well-
my question exactly.
Well, Wardlair encountered a man whose name I can't remember, but is one of the other villains of Waterdeep,
Okay.
and almost died climbing a mountain. Had exhaustion 3 and was real close to dying.
Jeez.
Right.
Right. Okay.
So Wardlair was in trouble, but bought a Triceratops while he was out, and he's been riding it around the city. It's the only thing that can hold his weight. He's
The
so
only
goddamn
thing.
heavy. He weighs 500 pounds.
Why?
Jeez.
Because he's a turtle, his shell weighs so much. Tim in his armor is lighter.
Jesus.
And Tim has 22 AC, so, Tim wears heavy armor.
Wow.
Wardlair, he's got glowing arms too, apparently. And he's bought a bunch of javelins.
Okay.
But I don't know what else he's done, that's all I was told. And Tim doesn't know any of this, really. He knows about the Triceratops, because everyone knows about the Triceratops.
Of course.
Everyone.
Everyone.
It went around the city, and Tim was working in the city. Jacob had Goldor hunt someone down and has a second gun now, and we have some plants. And he's also acting really weird with this necklace.
What?
Yeah, it's a bit strange. Zai went and learned how to cook. Zai is Tom's new character.
Okay.
And Tim joined the secret police.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Tim joined the secret police.
Yeah.
Okay. Secret
So-
police, right?
Is this
So Tim is a member of the
similar
Lord's
kind of secret
Alliance.
police as
And
As,
being part of the Lord's Alliance, you're able to
Oh.
do secret quests and do some faction things. So that's what Tim did over the 90 days that they weren't adventuring. Just decided, you know what, I'm going to go and help people in the city. Lord's Alliance, Order of the Gauntlet, making decent jobs for them. And then when he wasn't doing that, he was just working in the temple to help people. Because Tim's a nice guy.
Okay.
Don't
Well, when
you
you said
forget
secret police, I didn't imagine nice things.
And then he reached rank 3 in the Lord's Alliance. And the reward, you just are a part of the secret police.
Okay.
Right.
Would you like to know what benefits that it provides?
Sure.
Hit us.
What do you think it provides? Why look for it?
It's going to be
Broadly.
something ridiculous.
Like immunity against certain actions, maybe?
Nah.
Spells?
Nope.
Certain types of damage?
Nope. As a member of the Lord's Alliance, as the Lord's Secret Police, you gain advantage on any intimidation check towards the common folk.
What?
That's right. Tim is now participating in police brutality.
Okay, this is what I was more imagining when you said secret place. Jesus Christ.
hang on,
To join the Lord's Alliance, you need only they like lawful people. They don't actually care if you're good, neutral, or evil.
Wow. So how exactly does he join the secret police to begin with?
Well, he just does good work for them. They invite him in.
That's it.
Well, yeah, because he's shown he's completed a secret mission. He's got 10 renown. He's a relatively high level. He's level 5.
Imagine if that was the case in real life. You do some volunteer police work for the police.
It's not volunteer police work. I was getting paid.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually a member of this guild. Of this faction. I've just been working for them for like a long time. Relatively.
Okay.
And the final reward you get for Lord's Alliance is a town.
You just get a town.
Yeah, so at level 4, your signet ring becomes a ring of rejuvenation, which is nice. It's good. Although I prefer the ring of mind shielding for the moment. You attract the attention of an Alliance officer, who becomes your permanent henchman. You become the Baron of a small town or hamlet, such as your hometown, or perhaps one granted to you by the Lord's Alliance. That's level 4. At level 5, you can just make faction-wide decisions and influence the future of the faction's direction. Your renown is so high, you were eagerly accepted, and your advice and influence sought out by leaders of the Faerun kings, high priests, and archdukes alike, and you become a lord of a large town or castle with all the responsibilities that entails.
Oh, okay.
Tim is going to become a lord.
Wait, so what level are you currently?
I'm level 5. The rank 5 reward is at level 17 and 10 completed secret missions.
Okay,
and 50 renown.
That's quite far away still.
It's quite far away, but that's what Tim's working towards. Because Tim wants to use his faction-wide influence to push people into looking for a cure to death.
Really?
Or prevention of death, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and the reward for Order of the Gauntlet at rank 5 is you get a dragon. Which is way cooler, I'll be honest.
That's
it does sound cooler.
That you should have mentioned that before.
Well,
that's
yeah,
pretty good.
but you know,
you get a castle, but you also get a dragon that's
with heavy barding, so it's got armor too.
It's an armored dragon.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Let's look at the stats of a young bronze dragon. It is incredible. It is a CR8 creature. Lawful good. It means it takes about 4 level 8 PCs to take it down.
Wow. Right, okay.
It can fly 80 feet.
In a single turn.
Without dashing in a single turn.
Without dashing?
If it dashes, it runs 160. Or flies 160. Shoots lightning.
Jesus Christ.
This thing's going to live in my town. It's going to be like the town defender.
This seems mildly broken.
It's not really. It requires you to be level 17. At this point, a wizard has the ability to, like, alter reality itself. You can have an army of the undead live in a demi-plane. There's so much you can do.
Sorry, demi-plane?
Yeah, like a plane between planes.
What?
Yeah, if you've got the material plane, you leave the material plane, but don't enter a new plane. You create your own in the space between space.
Okay, then.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not actually that overpowered. You have to be very high level to get this, but it thematically fits with Tim.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll buy that.
Sure.
Yeah, you better buy that. Oh yeah, and he's going to have monuments built in his honor.
Oh,
Of course
God.
he is.
That's the other bonus you get for being that high.
That's a lot of bonuses.
Somehow, how does that not surprise me?
Oh, and you get a permanent henchman. I have 2 permanent henchmen.
But you have 2.
Yeah, if I hit that
2?
point, I'll have 2.
Okay.
Seems a little excessive.
I mean, it's all good if you have 2 permanent henchmen.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Means
Is
I
it
get
really?
3 turns per turn. I get to completely, fill up the turn order with Tim. I'm pretty sure they'd all go on the same turn. Just
You
for
reckon?
simplicity, yeah. So it's been good. D&D's been pretty alright.
Yeah.
We're going to move into the...
Sounds good.
we're going to finish up some side quests and then move into the Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Yeah.
Hope that
Yeah,
goes all well.
Tim's been having visions of a hunter.
Visions.
Of a hunter he helped in... I think it's a dream, actually. Of a hunter he helped before he was exiled. Well, it's what caused him to be exiled from his druid camp.
Oh.
So the visions are that the hunter's child has been taken and turned into a vampire, and now the hunter is being forced to do things against his will.
Wow, that doesn't
Otherwise,
sound
his child will be killed. So Tim's heading into the dungeon to help with that.
Okay.
Right, okay.
So it's going well.
Sounds it.
You know what else went well?
Enlighten us.
Lasso.
Okay, so I take it you've managed to finally finish. All right, you
Don't
finished
pretend you
last
didn't
week.
know,
No, you finished last week, didn't you?
but I didn't talk about it last week.
Okay, so you finished last. So you finished last week. So properly finished, though. Completely finished Reach.
Done.
It's done.
Reach is over.
You never have to touch the flipping game again.
I mean, I'd like to, though. I do enjoy Halo.
Okay, so how did it go?
It was really easy.
Did you manage to
What
finally get
was
that
it?
plasma jump?
Nah. We just did it the proper way. Didn't take too long because we
You
We
went
knew what we
through
were walking
6
into.
waves.
Yeah, well, the thing is, because we knew what we were going into, we stocked up on so much, needler rifle ammunition that we
I was
just...
gonna say,
every
yeah.
enemy we 3-shot.
Really?
Yeah, except some brutes. But
What kind of?
Joanna
what-
was, great on distracting them and getting their shields down so we could headshot them.
I was gonna say, what
we
were
were
their-
so coordinated. You honestly wouldn't believe it. We're 3 dickheads, right? We're, you know us.
Yeah.
This is the only time we've ever been coordinated.
Really?
Yeah.
It was a
That was
real
impressive.
finale kind of moment.
Yeah, it was.
sounds
And then we killed ourselves in the last mission really unceremoniously.
Oh, God. That sounds more accurate.
I think so.
Well, it's just sad because the last mission of Reach isn't anything spectacular. It's because that's not what the story of Reach is.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
I will say though, I did really enjoy doing Lasso, and the other two don't like hearing me say that.
You actually enjoyed it.
I kind of liked it, yeah.
What is wrong with you?
It
was like problem solving,
He likes
'cause
this
it-
kind of stuff.
There's There's a difference
He's
between
right, and it's
problem
frustrating.
solving and causing yourself an unneeded, inexplicable pain.
I cleared an entire section alone because the other two couldn't get through the window easily. So I killed an elite with an energy,
Is
two
this the
elites with
final
energy
mission?
swords, and was sniping people going through. I was like a pro. I
Is this
felt great.
Is this the final mission you're talking about?
Yeah, didn't die in that section, and if I died, I would have been reset to the before the window.
Ouch.
So I had to clear the entire thing without dying. I felt good. Went well.
So with those 6 waves, then, what kind of what was contained
Brutes,
within those waves? Then?
brutes, and brutes. Some with shields.
No, not many elites. Then,
Nah.
really?
Which meant you couldn't backstab them because brutes are impossible to backstab. But luckily, it also meant that we could shoot them from afar with 3 shots with a rifle.
They don't move that
Okay.
quickly, do they?
roll, which is frustrating, and the armor lock, which removes the needles. But if you shoot them 3 times real quick, easy. So we it wasn't the easiest thing. We didn't do it without dying. We died like 10, 20 times or something.
That's not too many for Lasso.
No, I mean, in the last section, I think we did it in like 2 attempts. Like after we've dropped Cortana off and ran upstairs to the railgun, which we thought would take us longer. We just like ran through that too.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really good at aiming without scope. Like with no HUD. I'm just good at it now.
Did you try to see how,
God,
how long
no
you
HUD.
could last on the last bit?
I forgot. That's insane.
Did you try to see how long you could last on the final cutscene?
No, we just killed ourselves. We just dropped 3 grenades and we would died.
Oh, fair enough.
Matt, I know how long I can survive, and it isn't long. I've done the get 150,000 points in Lone Wolf.
Really?
Yeah, it sucks. Don't do it. I did it because I care, but for most people, you shouldn't do it.
How long did it take you to get 150,000?
Like 40 minutes.
Oh my
40
god!
minutes.
You do it on easy.
You
do it on easy with black eye.
You did the final cutscene for 40 minutes.
So what you do is you turn it to easy, you put black eye on, which means you can only regain shield by punching people, and then you just melee every elite you find, getting some points. I can't remember how many it is, but it's not many. And you just keep doing it. And it's possible to die if too many get on you, so you have to be careful. I think I went for 40 minutes and died at 80,000 at one point, but then I got better at it and did it in 40 to the 150,000. It was great. It was really frustrating. Watched a lot of YouTube videos.
Whilst playing, or watching a whole lot of YouTube videos to see how you do it?
No, just while playing. It's not very interesting to do. It's tedious.
Yeah,
grind.
I can imagine.
Can you pause whilst you're playing that bit then?
Yeah, not if you do it multiplayer, but if you do it solo, you can. Doing it solo is probably easier.
That's probably true.
Because I'm pretty good at the game.
So, how does it feel to have finally completed Lasso and Reach then?
I want to do more.
Josh, what's wrong with him?
I want to do Halo CE. I want to actually get back.
What is wrong with him?
I don't. What? I mean, I feel like, Lewis, you're most equipped to answer this question. What is wrong with you?
As your friends,
We're concerned.
we look out for your well-being. This is his intervention. Josh's intervention is on Google Tabs, and Lewis's is on his need to fulfill achievements in games.
I enjoy long-form projects with achievable goals, and if they're moderately difficult, I enjoy completing them.
What's my intervention on?
Yeah, but
your intervention is stop playing sports games and start playing normal, real games that other people play. Play Dark Souls or something. I don't know.
Oh God.
Dark Souls 3, very good game. Highly recommend it.
I don't have the patience.
But it's probably easier than Jedi Fallen Order.
That might actually be true.
Well, I mean, that's not true. Jedi Fallen Order is a piece of cake game. But
Well,
Dark Souls is easier to learn.
Well, that's only because if you know the cheap cuts, then you can just go through the game in 5 seconds.
Yeah, but I know what I'm doing. I played through it twice. I had to learn it from the ground up.
Yeah.
And it was still not too bad.
Still haven't got any further in the game, by the way.
I don't know why. You told me to play it. You said it's a good game, and then I bought it.
I just got busy.
Busy? That's a lie, and we both know it.
I had to do a document analysis the other day on council minutes.
Oh, you're right. I'm already bored.
From a governor's meeting with the lieutenant governor of Halifax in Nova Scotia in 1755, detailing out 2 petitions by Acadian inhabitants. Does that sound interesting enough for you?
I want to say no, but I also know what I'm doing my research project on, and I kind of hate that too.
And I bet if I ask you what it's on, you're going to detail out a whole list of 13-syllable mathematical words that I will have absolutely no clue what you're talking about.
We're looking at nonlinear ordinary differential equations on the complex plane, and the advice that my supervisor's given me is look at lacunary functions and theta functions and see how, as you get closer to the boundary, like the behavior of what happens, you should see this fractal imagery appearing in the solutions.
Yep, that sounds about right.
I tried.
What did any of that mean?
Not much. Frankly, I don't really understand what that means too much.
Okay.
My research days were on Wednesday, and he said that to me on Thursday, so I haven't really looked into it.
Okay.
Yeah, that made just about as much sense as I thought it would, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh god, I wonder if that's been put
Maths
at the
is hard.
microphone. Storm Dennis is coming in.
no.
Yeah, at least I get to escape that. I was just reading this morning that apparently EasyJet has grounded like 250 flights over.
I don't blame them. Apparently, this
Really?
is bigger than Storm. Was it Kira?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I like there was a lot of like I was at home, of course, because of course I was most of the time while that storm was happening, and yeah, the wind was really really loud, but not much damage was done.
I mean, there was like
around
no
near
damage
me.
in Nottingham. The worst that happened is it snowed.
It snowed.
Yeah.
Why didn't you get snow?
I was talking to my parents. I was
Oh,
like, "You enjoy the snow?" And they were like, "What snow are you
listen.
talking about?"
Wait,
Listen,
you're
Strange.
Oh wait, no, you're higher up, so of course.
Yeah,
Listen,
I'm
if you want,
yeah.
listen, we have enough excess snow over here. If you want some, we can give it to you.
Yeah,
No,
just-
I'd rather you put it back into the Arctic.
that's
That'll
true.
probably
I
be
would.
better. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
what's
the-
happening. Canada's
if there's
just
one
stealing all
thing,
the
if there's
snow.
one thing we have enough of over here right now, it's snow and ice. We could do with a little less, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
The
It
one thing
definitely
that does
sounds like
stagger
a-
me is how prepared Canada is.
Well, they have it like every day.
Exactly.
all
Like,
year.
with Heathrow, the minute there's 3 flakes of snow, every flight grounds to a close, the roads clog up, public transport becomes a nightmare, and the trains run every 3 hours.
It's almost like there's only snow once every 2 years, and investing in anything that would be able to clear it would be a waste.
But surely
No, not surely. They've already done these calculations.
what cost benefit of investing in dealing with snow versus the way the economy would improve at its rate, being able to move
It
faster.
snows one time every 2 years.
I feel like it snows more than that.
It doesn't. It snowed here once. It was gone by the evening, and the roads weren't clogged.
I mean, other times it's been like a few days of snow.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even then, it gets cleared easily, and it doesn't actually snow a second time. So once it's cleared
Yeah.
once, it's cleared.
Yeah, that's true. It's like at most it's gonna last like a week.
I suppose it
That's
just
pretty
becomes
much over.
frustrating because you can see how other countries, how
Yeah.
it is able to be dealt with. But obviously, as you said, the cost benefit means that the British government doesn't have a reason to really heavily invest in it. But it's just annoying because then you come over here and it's like when snow falls, like by the next morning, they've already cleared it off the pavements and the roads.
Yeah.
I mean, all
And
the
it's-
roads were gritted the day after it snowed. Like, they do have something to do it. They just...
They
Not
don't even.
much.
They don't even. Well, it's not like they actually don't. Well, they probably do, but as well as that, what they end up doing is basically just having a whole load of plough vehicles and tractors that basically just run the roads overnight,
Yeah.
and then they have small little tractors that, well, not tractors, kind of look like tractors, that run around the pavements with movable like shovels on the front that basically scoop all the snow out of the way of the pavements.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
Canada sounds so lame.
Does it?
Hey,
It
listen,
sounds
they have
lame.
they have French vanilla at Tim Hortons, and that is one thing I will certainly miss when I come back.
You mean they have caffeine addiction for people with caffeine addiction?
Okay, fine, yes, but listen, it's really good.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Like,
caffeine addiction isn't worth it.
The French vanilla at Tim Hortons, oh my god, it's so good.
Why not just drink water? Nice, crisp, fresh water from the tap. Maybe with the occasional, like, Coke or Pepsi, but, like, no more than, like, once a week.
Okay, fine.
probably a
but
better idea.
I'm just saying, the French vanilla at Tim Hortons is really nice.
Kind of sounds like you got a problem and this you should be, like, intervened.
I mean, not really. I don't really end up actually having that much caffeine.
Sounds like you're drinking a coffee ever.
What's wrong with drinking a coffee ever?
I think one coffee is more than my like quarterly dose of caffeine.
Really?
Isn't it an exaggeration?
Really?
Yeah.
I
Come here,
find that
guys.
hard to
I'm a
believe.
Puritan vegan.
Oh god. Not with
No,
the
I'm not a
veganism.
vegan, but I am trying to be more vegetarian.
I have to say that I do feel almost blasphemous when I come over here, though, and I say how I don't like tea. People get so surprised at that because they're like,
I don't like tea either. Tea's disgusting.
but they're like, obviously, like, you're English. How can you not like tea? I'm like, I don't like tea. It doesn't taste of anything. It just doesn't taste nice.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm British and I'm not a colonizer either. Like, things change, guys.
It's true.
Yeah, but do you put sugar in your coffee?
I don't have coffee, Matt. I think we just been over this.
Have you what? I mean, you have to have had coffee at some point.
No.
Yeah, once. It was terrible.
I've never had coffee.
Really?
It smells really good though.
It doesn't smell good.
It does.
How have you not had coffee, Josh?
How have you had coffee?
Same way
Matt?
I've not had tea. I just don't. It doesn't. I don't like the sound of
Doesn't
it.
Or
like, I don't like
So now
how
we're
it's
judging
described
foods by how they sound.
No, okay, not in the way that just
My
I don't
food
like
doesn't
the
talk
word
to me,
coffee.
Josh.
Is that
It's not
the
what I mean
Doctor
either.
Is that the Doctor Doolittle of food?
Look, cauliflower was really racist. That's why I don't like it.
Was it a white nationalist?
Yes, it was a white nationalist.
Get them greens out of here.
Wait, how
It
can a
was really
vegetable?
anti-broccoli.
How can a vegetable be nationalist? What nation does it serve?
Its
Well,
own.
Yeah,
Well, what a cauliflower nation?
yeah. They were anti-broccoli.
See broccoli. To be fair, I don't like either. I'm not really much of a vegetable person. I very much am more of a fruit person. Cauliflower and broccoli are big no-nos.
Matt, I'm going to ask you a question.
Oof.
Is it going to be controversial?
Yeah, it's close.
Okay.
Do you remember our argument a while back about is ham,
Which
carrots,
one?
and onion a meal?
Oh my god.
Oh my god! I swear to God.
What if I told you I found a way to make that meal cheaply and without the ham?
So it's
Okay.
carrots
Okay.
and onion.
Are we seriously going to get to the? It's not a meal.
Matt, I made a stew/soup out of
It's not a
onions,
meal.
carrots,
It
and
is not
potato,
a meal.
and that is vegetable soup.
It is not a meal.
And you know what? If I change the vegetable stock slightly, that could be one hell of a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on the verge of greatness here, Josh. It's in my fridge at the moment, and I'm like, I don't really want to eat it because it actually wasn't great because of the vegetable stock. But if I actually removed the like super bit from it, it would taste really nice.
So what you're saying is, if it wasn't what it is, it will be good.
No, if I removed the stock, that's what I would have to remove. I cooked it the same way, just didn't put the stock in.
Okay.
So I need to find a good stock to put in my soup.
Yeah.
What kind of an idea of a stock do you have in mind?
I don't know, really. Like I used I think I can't remember what kind of stock it was, but it was like a basil something stock. It was terrible. It tasted awful, and I didn't thicken it up enough. You know, I might need to use some flour or some cornstarch. I realize I'm talking
Oh
about
my
cooking
god!
on this podcast, but like
That's
Going
fine.
back
We
to
could talk about
Josh though.
cooking.
Going back to Josh though, I'm not letting him up on this. How do you not know you like coffee if you've never tried it?
Oh, okay,
I
fine.
know I don't like a beer, and I've only had a sip.
Yeah, but
Well,
you've tried it.
yeah, that's
No, I
enough
tried
of a
one
try.
I tried one type of beer.
Yeah, but you gotta. Yeah, but
But you
beer.
tried
beer... I mean, I feel
They're
like
not all
beer-
the same.
beer- No, they're not all the same, but they come from the same kind of area.
Beer
so-
tastes roughly the same sort of fundamental concept of the taste of beer doesn't change.
It's like if you don't like sweets because they're sweet, then like trying other sweets probably isn't going to help.
Yeah.
I mean, licorice isn't exactly sweet.
Okay,
You got me
you can
there.
make a difference
You
to
got me
that one,
there.
yeah. But But in general, so like Josh, how do you not know you like coffee?
Well,
Well, how do you know you don't like coffee? Sorry, if you haven't tried.
Well, I don't. Okay, I don't know. I'm not. I won't say that.
But you just don't want to try it.
Yeah, I think it's the association with tea as well. Like it's a hot beverage
because it's associated with another drink.
I don't like tea. I've tried tea. And I don't like.
He's prejudiced against caffeine saturated drinks.
Yeah, but that would mean he doesn't like Fanta. And we know that Josh likes Fanta.
I definitely. Well, it's only non-British Fanta. Orange Fanta, that is.
What are you talking about?
Listen, I agree. Listen, I agree with him.
Oh my
Fanta
God.
abroad definitely tastes different to how it tastes in Britain.
Specifically, the orange Fanta.
It tastes worse.
In Britain?
I will fight you on this. No. It tastes worse outside of Britain.
What?
You're
so wrong. You're so wrong.
Like Tango and Fanta in Britain tastes way better than it does here in Canada or in Europe.
No. Tango has almost the exact same taste as Fanta does in France.
Sorry?
Okay, so to me, at least, Tango, like, we're both talking about the orange flavor. Tango tastes more syrupy. Well, I mean, there's like...
Yeah, but no.
I have fruit twist Fanta. Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're weird. Anyway.
I don't like it as much now. Anyway.
Thank you.
Tango is more syrupy in its flavor than Fanta is in the UK.
Sure, yeah.
And abroad, in my experience, the orange Fanta also tastes more syrupy than UK orange Fanta.
Okay, to be fair, I haven't had a Fanta from Europe in quite a while, but I have had recently like Fanta in North America, in both America and Canada, and I would take British Fanta over North American Fanta every time.
Okay, I have no idea about that.
It doesn't taste good. I mean, maybe European Fanta is different. But like, yeah, North American Fanta is just, no. And especially Gatorade. Like, Gatorade is huge in North America. It honestly tastes like slightly orange, sugary, diluted water.
It doesn't sound appetizing.
Nice. It isn't nice. Like, I can't understand how people love Gatorade over here. You take one sip of Tango or Fanta back home, and it's so much better. Or Sprite. I'd have Sprite over Gatorade.
Like, it's the same thing with Mountain Dew for me. Like,
I've never even had Mountain Dew.
Neither have I, but like the names do not make me think, ooh, that sounds nice. Just make me think it's gonna be like a more like energy drink kind of thing.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that. I've never tried Red Bull either, to be fair.
I've smelt it and it does not smell good.
I think I've smelt Red Bull maybe before, but yeah, I've never tried it.
That's what I imagine both of those tasting like, though.
I know my brother's had it before, and he's also had Dr. Pepper before.
Dr. Pepper's good.
I haven't had
Dr. Battery Acid.
Hey!
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
My brother ends up
saying it doesn't taste good. Dr. Pepper cherry?
Yeah, I think it's a cherry Dr. Pepper. My brother likes it.
Yeah, cherry sodas are good.
I don't like cherry.
Well, I've just learned today. This is another conversation that I've realised that I hate.
Why?
Yeah, why, Lewis? Why?
Well, partly because I only really like one soft drink.
Yeah.
Okay, and what's
I only really like Pepsi Max. I would rather have water if they...
Wait, isn't that a caffeinated drink?
Yeah, but I said I don't drink much. I said I don't...
Oh, you don't
drink. I mean I hate them all. I have maybe a bottle a week, Matt.
I forgot you cut down.
3:30.
Yeah.
God, Josh, who do you think I am?
Well, I was remembering you used to drink quite a bit of it, but...
Yeah, and now I've stopped.
Yeah.
Because unlike you nerds, I can just quit cold turkey.
What are you saying? That we have to go
I
to some
choose
sort of
not to.
fizzy drink rehab?
You know, Matt, I think you should drink exclusively water for a year and learn the liberation that is.
So you're telling me that I need to go?
H2O.
I need to go on a fizzy drink / caffeine rehab.
It's not really a rehab, it's more just not drinking it.
Right. Okay.
2 reasons. First of all, you'll feel better afterwards, but also, man, you will be tired for a week.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, if you don't have caffeine, you start getting tired.
Well, it depends how much you have in the first place.
Well, we know Matt drinks it, solidly. He pours like a coffee into his pint glass, downs it, does it again, downs it, and then pours it in, and then sips on that over the next 5 minutes and repeats the cycle.
In reality, I have about
It's
one
true.
cup in the morning, and that's it.
A cup in the morning, that's too much.
That's still one a day.
That is a lot.
I have a cup of coffee a day usually.
I'm sickened by you.
Whoa.
I probably sicken you in many ways, Lewis. That's just one of them.
I was speaking to Phil from a D&D session, and he was like, yeah, I was at a point where I was drinking like 6 cups a day.
Jesus
Cups
Christ.
a day.
Oh,
His
God.
teeth were starting to hurt because like the enamel was being
teeth.
stripped away.
Oh my god.
Wait, why was the enamel being stripped away?
They just happened to be drinking a lot of coffee.
Is that...
Wow.
Wait, is there much sugar in
Caffeine
coffee?
related, I think.
Or is it just... Okay.
I don't think it was like necessarily. It was like something was being stripped away, and he comes back. Like, he's
Jesus.
fine now.
That's
Jeez.
bad. That's
yeah,
very
that's a
bad.
little bit worrying.
So, guys, from now on, we're going to do a no coffee podcast. No one's allowed to drink coffee on the podcast. We'll conform to my views.
I love that you're like... You're creating this rule that affects one person in the group of 3.
Yep.
Unless you
It's-
start saying the audience has to not drink it as well.
I mean, I would recommend to the no people who are listening that you just cut down on your caffeine. Like, reducing dependencies is always something you want to do in your life.
I mean, I'd agree with
Yeah.
that. Yeah, don't drink a lot of caffeine. Maybe have 1 cup in the morning, and that's about it. No more than that.
Or less.
I think you've really overstated what I was saying there, Matt.
And you certainly shouldn't have any past midday.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw that post as well, did you?
Well, yeah.
Wait, what's this about then?
The post is that caffeine has like a half-life of like
About 12 hours.
about 12 hours or so you don't want to drink any after 12 because you'll still have a lot in your system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Try and go to bed.
basically, if you have caffeine, for most people, if you have caffeine in your system when you're trying to get to sleep, it doesn't help. So you won't have as good a sleep if there's caffeine in your system.
I feel I'm
I
like
see.
immune to that. It just doesn't affect me.
Some people I know actually find that they
I'm sorry, you
get to
have,
sleep
like,
better
the-
if they have caffeine in their system.
But you
There's
don't
a friend
sleep.
there's a friend of mine that I was staying with last year that every single night, practically, before she went to sleep, she would make herself a cup of tea.
Some people, yeah. Some people, it makes them more tired. No, why?
See you both. No, see you both.
What?
You have real drugs in your system because you just don't. You don't think you do. Your mind doesn't care.
It just doesn't care at that point. It's like, eh.
Or it's confirmation bias, like, oh, I got to sleep, which isn't the same as I had a good sleep.
Okay.
It's like
Yeah.
alcohol, right? Where
That's
like alcohol
true.
puts you to sleep, but it completely disrupts your sleep.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is why, Josh, I sleep with a completely normal realm.
Do you?
I do at the moment.
Okay.
Apparently,
Well, that's
apparently, roughly 41% of people in Britain sleep in the fetal position.
I do.
I think, yeah.
Well, one of us had to, right? Because that's how.
Yeah,
statistics work.
exactly, yeah. So I don't think I do. I
Listen,
think
Matt,
do.
I get cold, so I like to huddle.
Yeah.
Well, you see, I'm the opposite. Well, I don't sleep in fetal position. I'm usually face down or on my
That's
side
worse.
with one leg curled and one leg straight. And I'm also the opposite because I'm like a natural human radiator. So I have to have so even here in Canada, and we're like, what's the temperature right now? -4, and it can get down to about -8, maybe -10 by the evening. I'll have the window open, maybe even the fan on, because I'll get that hot that if I close the window,
Jeez.
I will get too hot.
Are there radiators on just perpetually?
All the time. Yeah.
Okay, that makes a bit more sense.
Yeah, the whole. I can't control the central heating in my room because otherwise, obviously, I wouldn't have the radiator on all the time. But basically, the radiators just run throughout the whole building, like continuously.
That's the opposite of my place. I have to turn mine on, and it only stays on for 2 hours at a time. So when I wake up in the morning, it's absolutely freezing.
When I was in Swansea,
and as I'm going to bed, I'm like huddled because it's that cold.
When I was in Swansea in first year, my radiator broke, and before I left for the Christmas break, I wasn't sure whether it was broken or not, and left it on. When I came back in early January, and it was basically about 0 outside, I came into my room and quickly realised from how cold the air was inside my room, the radiator was definitely broken. And it took a few days for the plumber to come out to fix it. So for the next few days, I was getting every blanket I could when I was trying to sleep. Because it was a tad cold, even by my standards. Because it was probably at about 0 degrees in my room.
Sounds like that sucks.
The central heating was down in a lot of people's rooms. And I remember my friend, who was a computer scientist, who was like in third year, got to the point where he was trying to use his computer as an extra radiator by trying to have his CPU do greater and greater mathematical functions and overheat to try to generate more heat within his room. He would literally do like control pad and then do like an easy like multiplication number that got an exponentially bigger and bigger number, and it quickly got to the point where the CPU was spending ages trying to figure it out using like 90% usage, and so it would just start not necessarily overheating, but like generating an awful lot of heat. And
why would you not use it on your GPU instead, considering your GPU like generates way more heat?
Maybe it was his GPU. I thought it was a CPU, but maybe it was his GPU.
Computation is done by CPU.
Oh, okay, then it was CPU then.
I like that I've reached the point in my like MATLAB work that I'm so frequently reaching infinity and 0 that like the massive range of numbers I actually have available to me don't really cut it most of the time.
Really?
What?
Yeah, so I can't even create these massive computations. Right, Cam, we'll be circling the same thing like over and over and over again.
Really?
Like if you want to get MATLAB to take forever, just have like some 100,000 by 100,000 matrix multiplied by some other 100,000 by 100,000 matrix, square that, and then repeat the process over and over again.
Sounds exhausting.
Take ages. Or you could just boot up The Witcher 3.
I want to do. Hey, Witcher 3.
Speaking of video games, let's talk about Halo.
Again?
Yeah, there's something to talk about.
Is it?
Yep.
There is?
Versus Blue.
Oh, I completely forgot.
I know you did.
So, warthogs, guys. Are they warthogs or are they panthers?
Pumas, first of all.
Yeah,
Second of all, that's season
Panthers.
1. You are like 3 weeks behind on that one.
I don't know. I just thought I'd reference it because I'd seen the start of season 1 again, and it just jogged my memory. So I was like, "That's funny."
Josh, you wanna? This is your thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
This
Josh,
is my
your
thing?
Yeah.
And
How is this my thing?
I thought
You're the one who told us to do this.
I thought it was going to start. I thought we were going to start doing like the end of season 4 for a second. Then it was like, I'm not trying to draw this out to interrupt you. Sorry, it's like I'm not going to interrupt you. He's like, oh no, I'm just pausing for dramatic effect.
Was I the one that suggested this then?
Yep.
Oh,
I'm fairly sure you were.
I don't remember that.
It was like a collective, but you were the one leading it.
Okay.
So season 4, Josh.
Yeah, it's good. I honestly completely forgotten like everything that happened in this season.
Everything.
I remembered everything that happened outside of Blood Gulch. Anything in Blood Gulch completely lost.
Well, obviously, I didn't have to worry about what I remembered because I'd never seen it.
Yeah. You hadn't? Well, you had no recollection of it.
And
No,
then
did
next
I,
week is your
apparently.
last Blood Gulch, Matt.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Moving on to
The saga's
Revelations.
the saga's almost over.
Oh god, I can't wait for that.
That's where things are going to get complicated.
It's still really good though. I think
Yeah,
that
no,
that
it's still
first
pretty
freelancer
good.
season is really good.
See, I kind of like Chorus, even though it is just worse than all the other seasons.
Chorus is yeah.
Do we
It's
get
good, but it's
Chorus is
written
still
by
really
Miles.
good.
So when do we
So-
transition into the next game? What season?
Like 5.
Oh, so next season.
Yeah.
So are we moving
No, sorry,
into
Oh
what?
no,
Six.
yeah,
Oh,
six.
six,
Because we
right.
got one more.
One more on Halo 2, then it's one on Halo 3.
So one more Blood Gulch and then it goes to Halo 3.
Yep.
Interesting, okay.
And you've met Junior now, kinda?
Kinda.
Well,
Kinda.
you haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, you haven't seen him yet?
Oh god.
What a career path Junior takes.
What a career.
I know. He's best in his class.
Relatively speaking.
I like that
You'll
race is
see
actually,
that.
like, it keeps turning up. Like, I thought that Junior was one of the only instances where that happened. But I looked, Santa, also a Sangheili.
Really?
There are a bunch of Sangheili in Season 6, some in Season
Wait,
5.
does Sangheili mean born from a human?
No, it means elite.
Oh, okay. They're just elites.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But, like, they're not actually elites and, you know, they're not called that. So, it
yeah.
would be Sangheili, because that's their actual name.
Okay.
Okay.
Does make sense.
It's such a dumb season.
The chorus
Does it?
stuff.
No,
Oh,
the
this
Season
one.
4, where
Yeah.
it's just like, the alien speaks in, like, warts.
It speaks in honks and blogs.
Yeah, that's true. I just...
It's a bit convoluted.
I love how its name is Honk Honk.
But
Yeah. It's a good name.
overall, I enjoyed the season.
Yeah.
Matt met Gary.
Met
Yeah,
Gary.
Gary.
Caboose was Caboose.
I kind of like Caboose less and less as the series goes on.
I
Yeah.
can maybe understand that because I can imagine his character getting a bit stale.
It's already stale and it's Season 4.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't really in this season very much,
Not really.
which is good.
But yeah, I think it works better
Doc was Doc.
until
Oh,
he wasn't.
I love that.
Until he wasn't O'Malley.
God, look at him go. Doc Flowers. He's not called Doc Flowers. I don't
Yeah,
know. There's
Flowers
not much to
is
say about him, really, other
other
than
guy.
he's one of the best characters. They're just so fun and endearing.
Yeah, but
And then you got,
O'Malley's
um,
gone now.
Oh my god!
Yeah, now that
am I
O'Malley's gone.
How am I forgetting the woman's name?
Tex.
Yeah, Tex.
Was
She
you-
was good.
You want to hear a retcon, like a genuine plot hole.
Sure.
So Tex, in the Freelancer project, is Agent Texas, but she said that she was Agent Nevada.
Okay,
Oh,
that was
And she wasn't lying
that's-
when she said that.
Why do you
What?
think she wasn't lying though?
Because why would she lie?
Because it's a
No, because Church said her name was Tex,
Yeah.
Right.
right? And they're like, why is she called Tex? And it's like, oh, she's from Texas. Does it make sense? I'm like,
Makes sense.
oh, yeah. Right? So she's not Agent Texas. She's Agent Nevada. But the series then just stops calling her Nevada and starts calling her Texas from then on.
Right. Okay. That's not even like those states are near each other.
Well, I mean, why would it make a difference?
Well, I don't know, but like, yeah. I mean, it's
I want to point out that Wyoming could be any other one. It wouldn't have to be Wyoming.
yeah. But as you say, yeah, I didn't realize that.
Well, the series hasn't sort of done it yet because that's a season like 6 onwards thing where they start talking about Tex.
Oh,
All
okay.
the goddamn time.
That'll be why I
God.
was a bit confused. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Matt. If you want to hear about Tex, the series will tell you about Tex. It is 4 solid seasons as to why Tex is a bona fide badass. And I hate it.
Sounds it.
It's not that awful, I don't think.
The problem is that Tex never speaks because
Just
the
like, I don't
voice
think.
actor that voices Tex had like a dispute with Rooster Teeth, so Tex doesn't speak after a while.
Oh,
She just disappears.
forever?
I don't know if she appears later on, but like, she's not in it at the moment. I don't think she speaks from season 8.
Wow.
But Tex is really cool in season 8, so it doesn't matter.
She has no voice actor behind her, but
She has no voice actor behind her, but Monty Oum puts so much character into her animations.
So hang on. So how does do they give some sort of retcon to the reason why she doesn't speak, or do they just like
They explain why she's not speaking.
Oh, okay.
there's good reason.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
It's
I look
weird
forward to
how
it.
like it's weird how much it goes into. How like much how
Oh, they
how
just
much it
don't shut up
changes.
about Tex. The entire 4 seasons.
It's not just about Tex.
It is though. Caroline's
kind of is.
entire arc.
It kind of is.
You don't know what you're talking about. Shut
Oh.
up. It's. Oh my god. Caroline's entire arc is, man, I wish I was Tex. Now tell me I'm wrong.
I can't.
I mean, you're not wrong. That is,
I'm not wrong, am I?
Yeah,
It's
but
Lewis. He
that's
never is.
still-
And what's Church's
It's
entire
kind of
arc
about Tex.
of those 4 seasons? It's Tex, isn't it?
That's okay. Yeah.
And who are the 2 main characters?
Okay. I see
Good-
see your point,
good talk.
but it's
Good talk.
doesn't-
Good
They
job.
don't-
And,
Talk about
and when
Tex
you look at the antagonist,
constantly.
what's his motivation?
I don't remember this actually.
It's Tex.
I don't.
Because it's the director.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's just all text.
I hate Tex so much.
I feel like I don't really hate her right now, but I feel like given what you've said,
I like her character, but they just don't shut up.
I feel like
Is
I'm
that-
probably going to start to just like her more as the seasons go on. A bit like Caboose.
Maybe.
I don't mind. You know what? I
The thing
don't
is,
mind-
like, Church and Tucker get better as
I
time.
was going to say, I
Same
don't-
with Simmons and Griffin Sarge.
I don't mind. I was going to say, I don't mind Tucker. I kind of like him, Tucker.
Yeah, Lavernius, what a great character.
He is good.
I'm kind of liking Tucker. Church is not bad.
Yeah.
I'll
I
be
really
honest,
like Griffin
I-
Simmons.
I think Caboose has one of the best lines of the season.
Which one?
What if it's always a key, but it's
What
if
if-
you
yeah.
stab them, it unlocks their death or something like that?
I think it's something like that. Yeah, it's like what if it's not a key?
That reminds me. Actually, I've watched some of season 5 because
How could you?
You got ahead,
I
Josh.
know.
We're
I
supposed
can't
to be
help
a
myself.
team. We're
It's
supposed to do this together.
I always watch mine the day we record, or like the day before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, same. I watched mine this
Oh my
morning.
god. I watch it throughout the week.
No, I was playing Skyrim, farming up those last few enchanting levels, and was like, I'm gonna watch Red vs. Blue while I do this.
Yeah, I listened to the
Pay attention.
podcast last night, and then I watched Red vs. Blue this morning. So
Yeah.
And I can't believe you didn't catch that you said 4 quarters. How could you?
oh my god.
I'm gonna have
To be
ruined
fair,
listening to the podcast with him because he'll be so
Oh my
on edge
God.
that I might pick up from like,
literally.
the tiniest thing.
When he said
This
that
is your
this
aim.
morning, I was like, I listened to the podcast last night, and I swear there wasn't anything that I picked up on that could be talked about. And I was like, there's nothing. Like, it was fine. It was nothing like major.
Well, there isn't really
to
anything.
correct. There isn't anything to correct. And you were like 4 quarters. I was like, calm,
You're
Max,
like,
calm.
I'm right.
Be
there
like
isn't
Buddha.
really anything to correct.
Be like Buddha. Think peaceful thoughts.
I mean, you're allowed to have hostile thoughts.
oh, I am I? Good.
Yeah. Not allowed to act on them.
How do we live with him, Josh?
Oh, we don't.
Well, I mean,
first
you're
of
all
all.
figments of my imagination anyway, so.
Are we now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's reassuring to know. We're nothing but figments of your imagination. That's comforting.
Oh wait, guys, completely unrelated. But do you remember, like,
Oh, here we go.
2 weeks ago, or the week, like last week? I think
Probably
it was 2 weeks ago. I came up with a great ending to a screenplay with the robot that can't hit things properly because its designer was crap.
Yes.
I've got a new one.
Oh god.
So the premise is a man has been cursed and he can't figure out why. So they go on this long sort of trying to solve the curse, and they find out that his parent like pissed off a god and it cursed his entire bloodline
Right.
just to get back at his son.
Okay.
Sure. It's the greatest plot twist since Star Wars.
Wait, sorry, that's the film.
It's like an episode of a TV show.
And the plot is that a guy finds out that his parents...
A guy curses his children by pissing off a god intentionally. Because his son sucks.
Oh, wow.
Because his son sucks.
Yeah, his son's like an ass, so he gets himself and his bloodline cursed.
Oh my god. Sure.
Wow, that's just not needed. That's just not necessary. That's unnecessary cruelty.
Cousining
right
an entire bloodline does seem a bit.
Because that's not just his kid, then. That's his entire bloodline. That's his children's children and his children's children's children. Like, why do you need to do that? Why?
Well, you piss off a god to do that.
Yeah, but
God wants that done.
Yeah, but just because you're pissed off at your son doesn't mean that your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren are going to be that bad.
Well, if he cares about his grandchildren, if he cares about his son and his grandchildren, he'll make amends, won't he?
Oh, what? Wait, I'm confused. So then, if the son starts being good, then the curse is broken.
The son, might do something good for the father, and the father might try and rectify the situation by appeasing the god.
And then the curse is broken.
Who knows, Matt? Who knows?
Wow.
It's a premise.
Wow. That seems a bit dickish on the side of the father, though, as well. Because then it's like, basically do what I want, or basically you and your entire future generations are screwed because of me.
Yeah.
That's a bit dickish on the part of the father.
Yeah.
What a great threat, though. Like, you've got a kid who's misbehaving.
Why do I feel like that's exactly what Lewis would do? He's like, okay, fine, son. You want to act like this? Fine.
I'll curse everything that comes
you got
after
to the
you.
kid, and it's like, if you don't stop this, I'm going to go and defile a god's tomb, and you're going to be cursed forever.
Why do I feel like this is 100% something Lewis would do? Disciplinary methods. Curse out your future generations, and then have your son have to beg for mercy.
I mean, I'm a relatively, decent guy, so I would probably not do that.
I would hope not too. I would also.
I might actually curse my children, to be fair.
Wow.
Yeah, but why?
So that's it.
Threatening them, that's cruel.
I
so
see.
Actually cursing is fine, but threatening is...
That's like turning around and saying, listen, shooting someone's fine, but threatening to shoot them? No, that's going too far.
That is crossing the line. They don't care when they're dead.
Yeah, but you still... I feel like this is not right.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Shoot Lewis and you're fine, but threaten to shoot him and you're in a whole world of trouble.
I mean, most people who are trying to shoot people don't actually want them dead, and any that do won't, stop. It's like the thing, which is if someone's approaching you with a knife and is being, very aggressive and, big and threatening about it, you're probably safe. I mean, don't antagonize them still, but you're probably safe. But if someone's walking up to you with, a cold, dead face, calmly, run.
Yeah. Or they're terrified.
Because that person doesn't have a problem stabbing you.
Yeah, it's like either if they're completely emotionless and they're threatening you, run, or if they're completely scared out of their wits because they're being forced to by someone else, probably run too. It's like the child soldier thing.
I mean, if you think about it, it's not a bad idea. Child soldiers.
Oh, God.
Okay, and we're off the air.
Yeah.
So long, monetization.
We've had other
I mean, like-
episodes where we've crossed the line, but this is really the one where it's...
No.
It's been fun trying to make revenue. It really has. But
We're not trying to make revenue. What are you talking about? Think about it this way, though, right? Like, I'm not going to shoot a kid.
I'm glad to hear
A
it.
kid might shoot me,
What?
right?
What?
That moment of hesitation, that's how you win a fight. That's how you win a war.
What are
Okay,
you
but
going
when-
on about?
I
Okay,
don't
but what
condone
about
child
when
soldiers.
everyone's-
I'm sorry, I did not have to anticipate that we would be having to discuss the morality of child soldiers this
No, I'm not
episode.
discussing I'm discussing the effectiveness of child soldiers.
Oh my
Morality.
God.
It's obviously abhorrent, Matt. But, like,
Listen,
maybe.
as a practical solution, it makes a lot of sense to use child.
I don't think it does make a lot of sense, because what happens when everyone's using child soldiers?
This is so stupid.
Are children going to hesitate to kill children?
Oh my
They're all
god.
monsters.
Oh my god. I thought Lewis had gone far enough, and then Josh just comes out and says, would children hesitate to kill other children? Would they
I don't
really?
think so.
Oh my god, what have I done?
You unleashed this onto us, Lewis.
I thought we crossed the line with stating Spider-Man outfits, but child soldiers, now that's a whole new kettle of fish.
Look, why do you have a problem with the Iron Spider? It's a good suit. I think the metallic look is
many
fine.
problems I have with it. Listen, here's what I'm going to say. Controversial statement. This is where you're going to mute me, by the way.
Oh my god, not again. Not again. Here we go.
These last two episodes have got a lot of bleeping.
I think the Iron Spider suit is worse than every other suit in the game. Yes, that includes the
No.
negative.
No,
Well,
about
and,
the
and,
movie?
and the one
What
where he's
about the
wearing nothing
punk
but boxers
suit?
and a mask.
that one's good. I like that one.
Brawler?
I don't know Brawler.
The
Is- is-
wrestling one.
I hate how
don't-
you're actually trying to have this conversation.
I'm just saying.
we should.
You're saying
You
it's worse
can't
than...
go from the efficacy of child soldiers onto Spider-Man.
You just did. Hang on, wait, you just did. You just started us on that conversation. You're the
true.
whole catalyst behind it. You can't catalyze a reaction and then criticize the fact that the reaction's happening. That's like spilling hydrochloric acid onto a wood and then going, oh god, how bad's this? Look at how bad this is. It's like, you just did that.
Yeah, this is your fault, Lewis.
It is. It always is.
You know
Every
what?
time.
Yeah, I'll take the blame on this one.
Well, I mean, you did
You
bring
bet.
up Spider-Man again.
You
That
better
was.
take the blame for this one because it's entirely your fault.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it is like directly related to what you did. That's all.
Basically, blame Lewis on everything.
I would just like to remind everyone who is listening and
Oh, here
pretty
we
sure
go.
you
Here
by
we
now
go.
you should have dropped off. That I'd like you to listen to
Knew it. I knew it was
episode
coming.
3 of the podcast.
I knew it was coming.
If it gets 10,000 views, eventually we ruin Matt's life by making him watch one episode of Smallville every week.
Yeah. It's not even going to be an Amazon by this time, so he's going to have to buy the box set.
Oh my god, wouldn't that be perfect?
Oh no! Oh my god, I didn't even think of that. I'm gonna have to buy the entire box set. I don't even want to know how much that's gonna cost. It's probably
That's
not that
a
much,
lot.
but oh,
It's probably a lot. There's a lot of seasons.
I'm going to just cry in a corner.
Yeah. That's an
I
appropriate
may lose
reaction
my
to
sanity
Smallville, I'd
whilst I
say.
do it too. I hope you're
I would,
happy,
of course,
Lewis.
like to thank Matt for his continued tolerance of this podcast.
Tolerance. I have to
it's-
subject myself to this pain for 2 hours every week.
Yeah.
I made it this
Yes.
far. You should all be proud of me.
I would like to thank Josh for editing this podcast and
You're welcome.
equally putting up with it. And I would like to thank the child soldiers for winning our wars.
Yeah.
We're all going to die.
We're all going to go to hell.
Death comes to us all.